What's going on, guys? Welcome back inside Slightly Relatable, the podcast where we talk about a little bit of everything from Philadelphia sports to our lives to just national stories to cover a little bit of everything. We were off last week. We're happy to be back. Tyre's back. Ken is here. It is the night before Thanksgiving, or as some people call it, Drinksgiving. It's just always a great week. You know, it's the biggest drinking day of the year. You go out, you see friends that you haven't seen, some since last year at your local bar. Then you have Thanksgiving, then you have Black Friday, then you have the weekend. And if you're from this area right now, things are good because the Philadelphia Eagles are 9-2. So
9-2. We're the first fan base that it's possible that we could even win the Super Bowl and that we would still want to fire our coach. He just has jumped the shark. He just annoys everyone now. So even if he won 10 Lombardis in a row, there's just something about him that like everyone is done with him, and we don't know what he does. But hey, it's working. I bow down. I apologize, Sirianni.
Well, see, and here's the one thing I wanted to get into. Like we talked about the other day, other cities have to think we're crazy because this guy has done nothing just but win since he's gotten here. Now, he did have the collapse last year, but gets to the Super Bowl in his second year and made the playoffs his first. He's been very consistent with winning seasons.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, even if they played him off as like that nerd, Matt Patricia, he's like, I got the pencil and I'm a rocket scientist. Like, all right, cool your jets. But anyway, at least for a time, he acted like he knew what he was doing and was riding on the success. Sirianni, all we found out is he does less and less. He doesn't do the offense. He doesn't do the defense. We have like a mafiosa, Big Dom, that handles the security and hyping players up. All he does is like get in fights with the fans, but he could burn a child alive on stage. Like if he wins the Super Bowl, most Philadelphians will forgive and forget.
Of course.
So
of course.
Right now he just comes across as like this douche that no one likes. But if he's a winning douche, we'd rather him be our douche.
I think if he even gets to the Super Bowl, people are going to still be happy with him because from the year that it's been, from like the sloppy start in the beginning to now what they are, there was still a lot of question marks coming in, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Now, offensively, we might have the best player in football.
You can't sit there and cry, though, if he gets the Super Bowl during the national anthem. Don't do that again.
What was an emotional time, Tyre?
Don't do that again.
No?
No.
With no Sean Moreno?
No.
He cried, too.
Hey,
It's an emotional time. Listen, I can't judge it because I might get a little emotional, too. I hear that is like the most exciting thing that you could possibly go through was the national anthem right before the Super Bowl. You know? That's an exciting time.
It just annoys me when 9 times out of 10, like, when they sing the national anthem, someone does something to annoy me with it. It's like not a song that you can just sing straightforward, like America the Beautiful. Everyone's always
last year you would have been annoyed with America the Beautiful because at the end of the song they showed Taylor Swift.
Yeah, my nemesis, my personal foe, who I have battled on the top of a 20-story or 500-story skyscraper where we battled to the death. So, but anyway, I mean, yeah, it's a good time to be an Eagles fan, though. And coming from us, and we until the next loss.
Yeah,
until the next
coming
loss.
from us is we've bashed this coach more than anybody in Philadelphia right now. We've got on Sirianni week after week and said how much of a clown he is. Is it time that we give the guy a little bit of credit?
Well, who we should give credit to, I mean, again, I'm never gonna shit on a guy if he's even if he did nothing and we still won the Super Bowl. Like, all right, whatever, your good luck charm. But all the credit, at least on the offense, definitely goes to this guy. His name is Saquon Barkley. Now, we have some highlights from the game, and I wanted to play them, and it was a pretty convincing performance. So, I don't know if you noticed in that, but that was 42 fantasy points in at ESPN standard. So it has prevented me from being eliminated. Just put all my faith in that guy. So he can just do it all. He's fast. He's strong. He's got the finesse. He can juke. He can jump. He can jump backwards. He can do a cartwheel. No one can stop this guy.
Guy's an alien. Listen, Saquon Barkley right now. You got Josh Allen. Saquon Barkley is the MVP of the NFL right now. He, to me, should be the front runner.
Now say it like John
in the
Gruden.
NFL. I'll tell you what, man. Saquon Barkley. You got to get a look at this guy, man. This guy can run the football. But no, in all reality, Saquon Barkley should be the MVP, in my opinion. Now, I'm not just saying that as a homer. What he's on pace right now to break the all-time NFL rushing record. I think he just needs to average 100 18 yards for the rest of the way. This guy, I mean, and he's almost a better person than player. You saw how he was more excited than Kenneth Gainwell the other night after scoring his touchdown. True sign of a leader, this guy. And he's just changed the whole entire, chemistry of this team.
Someone needs to explain the psychology of NFL players because, I feel like the league is 50-50. 50-50, 50% are the most wholesome. They have their own charity. They're so religious. They're going to start a crusade. They pump their teammates up. They're great guys that would help you if you were starving on the street, and they use all their money and they give that to the community. The other 50% are absolute mentally ill lunatics with brain damage who go to the strip club, shoot all their money, throw all their money around, or are literally murdering people like Aaron Hernandez. So I don't know how you can do it. But Saquon's on he's the former, not the latter. So I saw that video. That was great. He was pumping him up. It's like, you got the record. We got the record. That's right, yeah. Saquon. We did. The fans, the people sitting at home that were complaining about you in week 2 and wanted you benched immediately and contributed nothing.
I was never one of those people that wanted them benched. I said, listen, the guy had a good game. He dropped the ball, but Jalen Hurts is the one who threw the interception at the end of week 2. Saquon's the difference maker. He's a great veteran. They look like a really good football team right now, and you can't say enough about this defense. Unfortunately, we did lose Brandon Graham this past week, and he was going off in that game. But this defense, the way they've just come together as a cohesive unit, man, they are really, really impressive to watch, and I feel like they just get better and better each week.
All the Georgia players are really developing after it was like, are they, are they plateauing here? Are they not going to do it? Especially Nakobe Dean, which a lot of people wrote off. And we hit our 2 corners. We're like complete great shutdown players immediately. So this defense it's especially, and you see the progression from week 1 to now. They've gone from, you couldn't stop a runny nose to now they're just smothering and like the top defense in the league. And as they say, defense wins championships. And the other thing, I mean, Hurts gets a lot of shit, but we have to give him credit. He hasn't turned the ball over.
Yeah.
All you have to do is hold on to it, and we're going to be in a very good position to win every game.
Saquon's been the main difference in that. Like I think Saquon has just taken so much pressure off of Jalen Hurts, and now you actually have an offensive coordinator who's really sees that and wants to go run first because then you can really set up the play action. They're a really good football team. The coach still scares me a little bit, but unlike last year, this team is getting better week by week. Instead of we were still in question of how good this team actually was last year. This team is a legitimate football team. This team, in my opinion, can get to the Super Bowl, but not only get there, the way they're playing, I think they could win the goddamn thing. Because I think Kansas City's starting to go the other way. They're very good, obviously, with Mahomes. This team right now could beat anybody, and you got a good test this weekend against the Ravens.
The Ravens are going to be the match of the year. The Steelers will also be a tough matchup. But we have to see how they do because that could be a preview of the Super Bowl.
The crazy part is the way this team is built. It's been my dream. Like, the way this team is built, if I were running an NFL franchise, this is exactly how I want my team to be built. Their main thing that they pride themselves in, and this is now on both sides of the ball. This isn't just one side of the ball. This is both sides of the ball. Physicality. They have the guys in the trenches to be physical and just beat people up at the point of attack. Think about the structure of the offensive line. Your left tackle is 6'8", 340 pounds. Your left guard is 6'6", 335 pounds. Your right guard is 6'8", 350 pounds. Your right tackle
How
is 6'6".
How do you remember all these numbers and figures?
I'm a lineman. I'm a former lineman. So it's drilled into my head. But just think about that for a minute. If you continue to run the ball, I don't care what defense, we can go up against the best defensive front right now, healthy in the NFL, they will get worn down by the second half. And that's exactly what we've seen. These teams are getting worn down. That's the reason why Saquon's going off on these crazy numbers. What defense do you know can continue to go up against guys that are that big for 4 quarters?
I think have to go up against, sorry to interrupt you, but then have to go up against the best running back in the NFL. You put the best running back in the NFL behind this line, magic happens.
And I think I saw one of his 70-yard runs was against a 10-man box. So good luck.
That first one he broke was unbelievable. Where he hits it and he just cuts outside, and then he just outruns everybody. This guy's so good. It's it's almost not
He's
fair.
got such great decision making, and he's in the right and he can juke anyone. And then when he turns the afterburners on and the bursts, like I've not seen an Eagles running back that has the full package. And I love people like LaShawn McCoy and Brian Westbrook, but Saquon just makes those guys look like second rate compared to him. And that's not no disrespect to those guys; they're great.
Yeah, no, he's really, really good. Again, Brandon Graham goes down, Eagles legend. I hate to see it because guy was having a hell of a game. I mean, the guy was everywhere. He was in the backfield just about every play. Hate to see it. And if it is his last time, Brandon, thank you for everything because you made the play to win us a Super Bowl, and you've just been, an unbelievable ambassador of the city, but just, one of the all-time great Eagles.
Yeah, we need a open love letter to Brandon Graham because he's one of the people that, this sounds ridiculous, but he makes the Philly fans look like the assholes they deserve to sometimes. He was drafted. Everyone hated it. Earl Thomas, Brandon Graham, you're a choker. Jason Pierre-Paul.
Jason, I blew my firework.
Yeah, we think he's so great, but then Earl Thomas doesn't have the longevity. JPP blows his hands up, and then he ends up suing Schefter that broke HIPAA laws to reveal that he blew his hand up with a hand grenade or whatever. But anyway,
M80 firework.
But anyway, he just keeps grinding. He never complains, and he just slowly but surely becomes one of the best players on the team. And then he does the best play in the biggest moment in the Super Bowl, and we don't win that if he doesn't force that fumble against Brady. And, he was giving it his all on the field, and that might be the last time we see it. And then he's just like this wholesome muscle teddy bear that has just we've been watching him for it feels like almost 20 years now. Does
Brandon Graham make your – I can ask you this, too tired. Does he make the Mount Rushmore for the Eagles?
I would think so, but I'm afraid I might be biased because I don't know the 80s and all the old greats inside and out like other people do. But from just the time I've been alive, no question.
It's close.
Would you go him or Kelsey?
That's what I'm thinking about right now, the fourth person, because up there you would have Chuck McNarick, of course, and then you would have Reggie White. You would probably have most people would have B-Dawk as well.
I think a lot of people would put Nick Foles.
Yeah, they're stupid. We're not going to get into that. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Better than
the way he played in that Super Bowl. That might get him on there.
I'm not putting Nick Foles.
Do you put number 5, who will always love us? Do you put him on the mouth?
No. You got to put Reggie. I think you got to put Reggie White. I think you got to put. But then I've done this poll before. People go, Reggie didn't spend all his time here, but I'm like, Reggie's the greatest player to ever play for the Eagles.
Reggie's defensive stats are still number 1 on this team, and they haven't been broken yet.
Reggie's the greatest. Reggie, aside from Lawrence Taylor, in my opinion, is the second greatest defensive player of all time. So, to me, he's got to be on the list. Obviously, Concrete Charlie. You can make the argument for. I think Dawkins goes on. Guys, Steve Van Vuren, people might put. It's just.
You just reminded me of something. I'm gonna go there, especially since you like this guy Belichick. But I've thought about this. Major fraud alert. Fraud alert. All right, Belichick's got this great resume, but the Super Bowls he won as a head coach, who did he win them with? Oh, only the GOAT quarterback. All right, but he was the defensive coordinator for the Giants. Oh, he had LT, the GOAT defensive player. Is he being carried by GOAT players and he's a fraud? He does have a hot 29-year-old girlfriend now, so more power to him.
I definitely don't think he's a fraud. I think he's a very good coach. Now, I think he's lucked out in some situations. And having Parcells there to manage the team, I think he did a good job. But you look at what he did in the schemes that he ran against the Bills in that Super Bowl that they won in the 90s. The Bills were the better team. Bills had such a complete team. They were built to win a championship. They ran the cake on offense. They had 3 Hall of Famers and Andre Reed, Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly at quarterback. And what he did, he put 2 down linemen, which nobody did back then, and just played a bunch of linebackers and defensive backs and just forced Buffalo to run the ball, and they just wouldn't do it because they were so used to just going up-tempo, 2-minute drill all the time. They kind of ran a Chip Kelly offense before Chip Kelly's offense, and he just shut them down. That was the only way really to beat that team, and he figured out a way to do it. I think he's definitely an innovator of the game, and he lucked out having Tom Brady.
Now, that was a really good, logically coherent argument, but have you considered that I don't like him because he beat us in 2004 and he probably cheated and
we got our revenge.
They were deflating the balls. They were deflating. Well, that is true. I should stop being bitter about it. We did win. See, that's the thing. If we did not win that Super Bowl, we would all be on suicide watch after the Chiefs Super Bowl. because it's so painful to lose so close, just like 2004 was. I didn't even believe we won until like even after the clock struck 0, and like I'm in the VAR in Center City, everyone's like running out without paying the tab. I, as a good God-fearing Christian, of course, wanted to make sure I paid my tab when I could have got away with it, but everyone else was running around going crazy, so that just lifted such a huge weight off our back. Like now, the Eagles can like choke this whole season away, and like I don't want to like join a militia like I used to when they fucked up. Like,
No, they can't. It's not, the reaction wouldn't be as bad, but they can't fuck up this season.
Are the Philadelphia Eagles, I'll just straight up ask you, are the Eagles good enough to go to the Super Bowl?
Yes, but the Sirianni is the huge question mark, and then Hurts is the small question mark.
Tyre?
Do they have the talent? Yes. Do they have the chemistry? Yes. The makeup? Yes. The stats? Yes. Am I there to put Eagles in the S word in the same sentence? I'm not there yet. And I don't know, maybe it's just this thing in the back of my mind that like has memories of last season where they were playing this well, but at the same time we just kept saying something's not right, and sure enough the collapse happened. But the difference is this year they're playing so well, it's almost like it's scary almost.
They're playing complete games.
I think it's night and day compared to last year.
It
I really
is.
do. I think it's night and day. I think Saquon has made the big difference, and I think the coordinators have. I think Vic Fangio, as I say,
Fangio. It's like a tongue twister.
Yeah,
Vic
think
Fangio.
I think Vic Fangio has put this defense in a way better position than.
Oh my God! So many people wanted to get rid of him in like week 4.
Yeah, no,
everyone shut up.
It just
right?
takes time sometimes. No, but like this team is so much more complete. We actually have a secondary. We have a secondary that can, and we have a pass rush. Like guys, we had rookies on the defensive line last year, and now they're a little bit more developed. I'm excited to see more Nolan Smith, and Jalen Carter just looks, dude's just
he's
horse.
a world beater. He just is, they got to double him, and then someone's free. But the other thing, I mean, we say, oh, they're Super Bowl bound, but top to bottom, I feel like this is the most talented roster in the NFL.
Dude, they're pretty damn close. If they're not number one, I mean, they're
like,
definitely top 3.
We don't have the best quarterback in the land. Hurts is good, and he can do he can get the job done. I believe in him, and especially if he like limits the turnovers and plays smart football. But like he's not the level of Mahomes. No one is. But every other position, but trenches on both sides, all the offensive playmakers, and then this defense is becoming like elite. If it's not a top 3, top 2, top 1 defense in the league,
They just became number 1 in total defense.
Yeah, no, they're really complete. They're getting back to what they were doing 2 years ago. These long, sustaining drives. I think Jalen, and it comes. Jalen's decision making has gotten a lot better as the season's going on too, and they've put him in a much better position to succeed. The RPOs look better. Everybody's kind of, and not everybody's been healthy the whole year. Goddard's been out. They just didn't have Devontae Smith.
AJ's been out a
was
lot.
out. So
Mulata.
Yeah, it's like once they get it all together, it's like this team's sky's the limit.
I just hope losing Graham doesn't like kill us. Like, I mean, I know he's real old, but he looked like the best player on the defense yesterday at times.
In a way, and I hate to compare it to 2017, but look how the team rallied, after Wentz went down.
That's true.
It honestly, I envision that type of reaction.
I agree. Because he's going to be there every day, cheering them on and motivating them. Because the guy's just an awesome veteran.
He better be
leader.
a coach or in the front office or something afterwards. Like, this guy should be Eagle for infinity years.
I love Brandon Graham. I really do. I was sick to hear that he went down. Now, is there any chance of him returning?
Torn tricep, very unlikely this season.
Ray Lewis did it his last year.
He also sustained an injury in the very beginning of the season. So that's what allowed him in that window to open up.
But he just played with
went
a
to Super
torn
Bowl.
tricep. He had it all braced up. He's just played through the playoffs with a torn tricep.
It's different because Ray Lewis didn't have his hand in the dirt each and every single play, whereas Brandon Graham, when you're in a 3-point stance.
Do you think he has to go 3-point stance? Do you think he can kind of go up?
Well, we saw the difference between Bryce Huff's play when he had his hand in the dirt versus, in an outside linebacker pass rushing stance, 2-point stance, I believe is what it's called.
I guess more leverage when you're down
Can he
low.
just play with one arm? Just have a sling, and like that's got to be like at least 60% as good as like a bubble player.
Yeah, no, and you mentioned that, like how they rallied around Wentz going down. They had a lot of injuries that year. People got Jason
Sproles.
Peters,
Yes, they did.
Sproles. Yeah, I mean they had a lot of their big guns go down that year, and they just rallied around. They're a really complete team. Like I said, Jalen's playing really well. I'm ready. I'm ready to see them go head to head with the Lions. I want to see this matchup. We need it in Philly.
If they beat Baltimore this coming week, then I'll say it. They're going. Then I'll say it.
All right. Lions are good. Listen, it's going to be, but I feel so comfortable about it, not only just because of our offense, and we have a guy in Saquon Barkley who can hit his head on the crossbar literally any play. We have a guy who can literally take it the distance every single play. He's got that good a chance.
And Lions are good, but as good as they are, and like I think they can go really far, if not win the Super Bowl, but they don't have anyone that makes me like shit myself, like Mahomes or Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers.
Jahmyr Gibbs gets me nervous. He's a really good player.
Dan, I said this to you before the show even started. Well, the Lions, yes, I respect them, but I don't fear them, and the difference is because they don't have that championship mentality yet.
Yeah,
they haven't been
there.
to the big dance yet. Whereas this team still has remnants of the 2017 and the 2022 team.
Yeah, they know how to get it done. They know how to get it done. They have veterans in that locker room, and Jalen's had a taste. And Jalen's played in big moments, not even just in the NFL. He's been in national championships. The big moment we've seen does not faze Jalen Hurts, and
this is why I got so annoyed by like Wentz having like such a prima donna little crybaby moment of that. You're benched because you're hurt. It's nothing personal, and that's why we drafted Jalen, because you're always hurt. It's like we hope you're not, but meanwhile, Jalen Hurts got benched at halftime in the national championship. He could just cry and seethe about that for years. If Coach put me in '83, we'd be champs. Like he could be like Uncle Rico if he wanted, but he just kept his head down, worked harder the next year. He came in when Tua got hurt, which apparently happens every 15 minutes now that he's in the NFL.
He came back and beat LSU.
And then, he went to Oklahoma and got even better as a quarterback.
And you know what the number one thing about when, you talk about the national championship, when a freshman, Tua Tagovailoa, came in and won them the national championship in overtime against Georgia, what Nick Saban always said, the most impressive thing he saw was just how supportive Jalen was still of Tua the rest of that game. And you see it when they win, how excited he was and how much he supported him throughout the whole game.
It's so cliche, but there is no I in team, and it is the team that's bigger than the individuals.
There's an M and an E, though.
Yeah, that's what Wentz noticed.
But yeah, anything else you guys want to touch on about the Eagles?
Just Saquon Barkley needs the key to the city. If we do win the Super Bowl, I think he'll be like the Super Bowl MVP, and he may be the actual MVP. I just hope the MVP doesn't become the best quarterback award, which is what they want it to be.
It already has.
In New York, I got an offer for you, and I think you should take this offer as a professional Madden player that has built many franchises from the ground up. New York Football Giants. If you hire me, and the only thing I'm asking for is $2.5 million a year.
That's a bargain. They should do it.
$2.5 million a year. You give me 3 to 4 years, I will turn your sorry ass franchise around. Because how in the fuck do you let your franchise running back go into free agency, and then you are such a freaking clown show that your starting quarterback says, "Yo, release me. I'm done with you." That's sad. I'm just saying.
They paid Daniel Jones the big bucks. They can't afford both, so they got neither. Fucking idiots.
Giants, the Giants should have never drafted Saquon, to be honest. I mean, they had a bad team, and they just you throw in a good running back on the team. It's not going to turn things around. You got to build cornerstones when you're building a team, and that's the one thing Howie's done very good. He always builds from the inside out, and you see it right now. The trenches have been the Eagles' identity now for the last 10 years. And that was our identity when we won the Super Bowl. We had a good offensive line and a great defensive line.
I don't know if it was in 2010, but the New York Football Giants, someone drew a pentagram on the ground and did the Latin incantations and summoned some sort of demon to make a deal with. They got 2 ridiculous Super Bowls out of nowhere where they had a guy that, just looking. Eli Manning just looks dumb and like that he's not got it.
He looks like he's 1 chromosome away from retarded. It's unbelievable. And he won 2 Super Bowls.
He
and
won
not only
2
did
Super
the
Bowls
asshole win 2
against the
Super Bowls, he beat Tom Brady twice.
But all I'm saying is outside of that, they've been such a joke, nothing of a franchise. My cousin married a Giants fan. Like, it makes me even happier when they lose more. The Eagles in like my lifetime went from like a laughing stock and the all-time win-loss against them. Now we own the record. So eat shit, Giants. I hope you continue to not win shit for the next 10 years.
Well, I literally tell you, I text James every week, who's a Giants fan, my friend James. I literally go, man, that Saquon Barkley's good. Every single week.
And he said,
he'll
be hurt.
Well, the offensive line's good. They got a good offensive line. I'm like, okay, that's fine. He'll get a text again next week.
It just makes me I was just a pure hater because he was on the Giants, and I'm not a huge Penn State fan. So I'm like, all right, whatever, overrated. He's not. I am so much more furious at them that they held this guy back.
I feel like I had to sell you on it. Like in the beginning of the year, I was like, see, he's pretty good, and then he scored 3 touchdowns in the first game. You're like, yeah,
okay,
maybe
okay.
You were right. I didn't believe you, but you know.
But yeah, I mean, we have an elite offensive line. Obviously, it's not a one-man show, but the Giants are so incompetent that they've possibly aborted in the womb a Hall of Fame career. We may be able to resuscitate and actually get him into Canton where he belongs, but anyway, yeah, fuck the
Well,
Giants.
let me ask you this, Tyre. I know you watch the games pretty in depth. Do you feel like Jalen? I will say, obviously, Saquon dominated the game. He had 301 total yards. Do you feel like Jalen needs to do a better job of spreading the football and getting more people involved?
Just throw it to who's open.
Okay.
Just throw it to who's open. It don't matter who it is. It don't matter the volume of catches, whoever gets what. I'm not concerned with who doesn't have a certain amount of touchdowns. Jalen, your job was the same. It's the same as it was in 2022. Don't turn the ball over. Put the ball in the playmaker's hands. Don't fuck that up.
And that's a good thing we have. Your best player is your running back, so you're going to control the clock a lot of the game, which has been good. I'm just looking at the stats now because A.J. Brown, 7 targets, 6 receptions. Saquon, 4 targets, 4 receptions. Dallas Goedert, 5 targets, 4 receptions. And then Jahad Dotson had 1 target. He had 1 catch for 4 yards. Calcaterra, 1 target. And then Johnny Wilson, 1 target. Now, if Devontae Smith's playing, you're probably spreading it a little bit more.
I mean, he's not Tom Brady, but like Tyre said, we just need him to do certain things. He doesn't have to put the whole team on his back, but he just has to do his role and do it as well as he can. And I hope he continues to improve. I hope he can be that top 5 quarterback. Like, he definitely has the personality. Like, he's got the right mindset. He's not a little pussy.
I was going to say, he doesn't have any personality, but...
Yeah, his personality is just being like a stoic Greek statue that has no emotion or whatever. Hopefully that plays well and behind the scenes in the locker room.
We got a smirk out of him when Saquon hit that long run at the end of the game, so I was happy to see that. You Chris Collinsworth going nuts. You a Sunday Night Football fan of the announcing team, Tyre?
To be honest with you, I don't even pay attention to the announcers.
Same. He always has to tell me, oh, it's this guy. I'm like, okay, cool.
If you want me to be totally honest, I do not pay attention to the announcers.
Well,
a lot of people say that Chris Collinsworth apparently hates the Eagles. I have not noticed because I don't give a damn.
Al, here's a guy who...
Here's a guy who
just Saquon Barkley, man.
The only one I ever noticed was Romo, and because he's like, I don't know, Jim. They're gonna do the thing, and then he kind of fell off.
Jim, they're gonna do the thing.
I did like Romo in the beginning because he was predicting pretty much every single damn
that was
play
so.
that was
I guess
happen.
Did he stop doing that? Did the game pass him by? He was better at the beginning. Now people have kind of got tired of him. They're back to hating on him after we hated on him for so long. Then we started liking him as an announcer. Now we're back to laughing that he fumbled the extra point.
Well, I know the number one hated guy all the time when it comes to announcing has got to be Joe Buck. Philly will always say that Joe Buck has been against them.
Yeah, Joe Buck hates everybody. Let's be honest here.
They take some of his most exciting calls from 2008 to 2011, and they put it in dentist offices when you're getting a tooth pulled, and it actually works to put you out. They said it was more cost effective than nitrous oxide.
So Thanksgiving has arrived. And today, the day before Thanksgiving, biggest travel day of the year. All the college kids are coming home. Everybody's on the road. They're getting ready to spend time with family. Let's get talking about the Philadelphia airport because it's been a topic of discussion. They probably had a lot of cancellations today. It got sloppy. What are your guys' opinions on the Philadelphia airport? Because a lot of people don't like it.
Well, I've heard everyone shit on it. I haven't been to many other airports. I was to San Francisco's one. That one is futuristic. They have a robot car making arm make a coffee for you, and then I just see all these Chinese tourists videotaping. I'm like, all right, well that's pretty cool. We definitely don't have that.
They definitely have 10 of those in Japan.
But they had I don't know. A few things I noticed that just annoyed me. I took a small regional flight one time to Virginia. They have flights from Philly to Harrisburg. Who is doing that? Just get in your car and go to Harrisburg. By the time you get on the plane and off the plane and your luggage and all the bullshit and the money,
Lazy pricks.
it's not even being lazy. It seems harder and takes more time than just driving there.
Well,
So.
people might not have a car and they live in the city.
The hitchhike, I don't know, walk. I feel like you could walk there
Walk
faster.
down the turnpike. That's safe.
I think that's
Other things like I don't know if this is a Philly airport or just all airports in general. Like once they got you, like they know that they're trying to scam you as bad as they can, and you're spending 3 times as much on like the most mediocre shit food. And airports should have like the showcase of like, because so many people have layovers but they can't like go explore. They have to wait. Like you should have like the best Texas barbecue and you can buy a cowboy hat and you should be able to like whatever that city is best known for in that airport. You should have put your best foot forward cities and but all you get is like
I feel like a lot of places do like add in something that's relatively a local thing.
I don't know. All I know is I got a cheesesteak. I paid like twice as much as what it should be, and it was just shit.
Yeah.
So like,
You're gonna pay more, but I think some of the airports definitely bring in the culture. You go to Vegas, there's just slot machines everywhere in the airport.
That's genius. So you could probably make the flights free if they have that many slot machines and just subsidize it and just have all these. Didn't you miss your connecting flight to Nashville? What? That was 2 days ago, huh?
Yeah.
I love slot machines. You just see boomers just like all their children's inheritance, like their one last act before they die is to just give it all back to some fucker that is just collecting wealth for no good reason. Like, Mom, Dad, I can't afford a house. Too bad. I'm going to pull this over and over. Just play a more fun card game. Like blackjack, at least you have a chance.
Yeah, last time I was in Vegas, we were with a bunch of people because I was out there for Power Slap, and I watched a guy drop 7,500 hours on slots. I said, how the fuck do you even do that? How do you spend 7,500 hours on slot machines?
Did you have to like put it in?
Yeah, like you keep just like fucking 7,500 hours on slot machine. I'm like, dude, play baccarat, play something else.
Put it all on red or black in the roulette.
Literally.
Dude, I got so pissed. I was in AC and I got, because I'm like such a risk averse person. I only put $20 in. I was playing blackjack. I was like up to like 110 within like half hour. I'm like, I'm out, and they're like, pussy, you can't go out. So then I go to the roulette wheel, and it was like 7 reds in a row. I'm like, it's gonna be black this time, and it was red again.
You lost all that money.
I lost a
You
bunch
lost
of money
it all.
because it was like 10 reds or 10 blacks in a row, and that just annoyed me. So the gambling is just a scam. Obviously, that's the thing. The way they advertise it, oh, you're gonna be here a winner. If you were gonna win, they would go out of business. The only reason they exist is because they're scamming you. Now, if you know that going in, you're just having fun. But if you like realistically expect, man, I got a system, they would go out of business if they weren't good at taking your money.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is a perfect example. Dana White, they literally give him a limit because they know he has got the money to literally just keep bankrupting. He just keep going. Like, he's got billions of dollars. So, like, they have to give him a literal limit of, like, $2 million a night because he'll literally just keep winning. And he goes, like, every night.
Imagine complaining that you have a $2 million limit on your gambling. That means that
I hope I'm there. I hope I'm there someday.
That means you both have that much money to gamble and that you've consistently like won it and like fucked the casino over so that they had to put the because if he was losing $2 million a night, they're like, why not 10?
Yeah. Oh, literally. No, he's banned from some casinos. They don't even let him gamble at some casinos because he's beaten them too many times. He's got unlimited money, so it's like he could just stay and just take what they got.
Pretty good.
But back to the Philadelphia airport. Have you dealt with the TSA there? They're not pleasant people. You go in excited to get away. You go in excited to travel. And you got these assholes who just they just immediately they disrupt your trip and they're screaming at you, take out your laptop and all kinds of shit. It's not pleasant. Tyre, have you experienced that TSA at the airport?
A few times. It's been so long since the last time I've experienced it because for the most part, like I drive everywhere, so it's like I avoid TSA like the plague. So,
well, that's why I got pre-check, so I don't really have to deal with them as much. So I get through security now in like 2 minutes.
You scammed yourself. I was just there, and the pre-check line was longer than the normal line.
You see, that's the problem. People don't know which you got to know a terminal to go in. So typically when I fly, I'm not checking in a bag because I'm always traveling for work and stuff. So when I do travel, it's like carry on. I go right to the American Airlines one terminal. It's like I literally the longest I think I've waited is like 4 minutes. It's literally so short of a line. It's the move. People don't know about it though.
Is it better and or cheaper to instead of checking in like a bunch of luggage, you just like mail it overnight to where you're going, or would that like they would fuck that up?
That's up to you. Send it overnight. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I'd rather have it with me.
Because like those
But,
scam airlines,
it's not guaranteed it comes to where you're going because I took golf clubs to Atlanta last year and they lost my golf clubs. So it's really you're not guaranteed to even get it. So yeah, maybe just ship your shit the day before.
But then because there's like those scam airlines like Spirit, like wow, I can go.
They're going bankrupt, by the way.
Oh, good. I don't know how they've nickel and dimed everyone. Like, what are they doing? Going to the casino with all the money? But anyway, oh, you want to go to China? It's only 4 cents. Like, wow. It's like, oh, you're gonna bring clothes on this flight? That's another $50. Oh, a bag? Oh, what? You have to go to the bathroom? Like they nickel and then like luckily, I've just flown American.
They do nickel and dime you, and it's like they'll charge you. God forbid you go overweight, they charge you an extra $7,000. I'm like, the guy next to me weighs 700 pounds. How's not that? How's that not taken into consideration?
I love seeing the people at the airport going ballistic, trying to like make their bag fit in that thing or like weigh enough.
Oh my god!
I see the people wearing like 18 like jackets and shit.
I'm like, yeah, you're flying Frontier. Like, you need to know that. Like, these people are trying to stuff their bag into that little thing that to make it fit, so you don't get charged an extra $100. It's comedic. Because before they didn't check your bags. Like, they would just if you had a carry-on, they just would let you go. Now they're charging everybody.
Yeah, it used to be, like, it's just everything's shittier now. Like, I mean, I know it's probably become less expensive to travel. It's probably like more of a rich boys club back in the day. But it used to be like, you'd wear your suit and tie, you go on the airplane, it'd be like a normal, comfortable seat. You'd eat like a steak dinner with like real silverware. Yeah. There was no security. There was no nothing. Like, I guess you could bomb the whole plane, but they figured most people wouldn't do that. It only took a few assholes that are willing to kill themselves, too, and now they ruined the fun for everyone. We're still taking our shoe off because of one dickhead in, like, 2006.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's, like you said, though, flying was an experience before. Now it's just a hassle. That's why you just got to fly private.
Just fly private. Simple.
Another thing about the airport, I don't know if you guys have noticed this. Does everybody just bring their animals with them now? I've never seen so many fucking dogs.
Okay, that I've seen, and that irritates my living soul.
Like, you can't find somebody to watch your dog. Everybody has a service dog now. People have like chihuahuas as like service animal. What the fuck service is that going to provide if they're fucking dying?
Because they're pretending that it's an American with Disabilities Act service dog that like actually like is a seeing eye dog, but it's like emotional support. Like, okay, yeah, if you like your pet's emotional, solve this problem real quick. If we can prove that you lied about it, it's not really a service dog. Euthanize the dog immediately. Second offense, euthanize the owner. That would solve it. Stop with your fake bullshit. The tortoise, the flamingo. Get the fuck out of here. Armadillo.
Be seeing alligators on the damn plane.
At JFK, somebody tried to bring a peacock on the plane.
Emotional support pit bull. It mauled 12 children, but it was the children's fault. It was actually, it's a really nice dog. They probably were teasing it.
You're anti-pit bull.
I'm just, I'm like completely anti-pit bull. All the pit bull fans, you're probably like overlap with the Taylor Swift audience.
I mean, okay, let's put it like this. I'm not anti-pit bull. I understand pit bulls honestly get like a bad rep. They honestly do.
They do.
With good reason.
Not really. You'd be surprised how many dog attacks are labeled pit bull attacks and they're not related to any type of pit bull whatsoever.
Because it's always a mixed pit bull because no one wants to adopt it at the shelter. It's like 99% of the shelter thing. My cousin had the sweetest pit bull ever. He called it Nia, short for Neapolitan, because it had a pink little nose and it was white and then brown on the back. It was actually half pit bull, half greyhound, and it was like the most athletic beast dog I ever saw. It could like jump across this room in like 1 microsecond. It looked like a marble statue. When you pet it, it was just pure muscle. Very nice dog, but there's that pit bull gene. Like if they go psycho, they lock their jaws and they will kill. And then people are always making excuses. So there was this is a real news story.
I just watched the Michael Vick documentary.
This is, Michael Vick's one of the examples of like, it was the owner's fault. Like, yeah, it actually was. It was making them fight. But this was a real news art story because everyone's always like on the pit bull defense force. A pit bull literally broke into an elementary like school while they had recess and like attacked 7 children and a teacher. It was just wandered on the street, went into a school. The pit bull's like a mass shooter. They need to.
Well, it comes down to it. there's just certain people who shouldn't have certain breeds of dogs. That's what it comes down to. You have lackadaisical owners. I listen. There's pit bulls are high energy dogs, but there's ways to calm them down. And you need
bullet.
You need no. Okay, relax. Okay. There's just certain breeds of dogs that some people shouldn't have. I think German Shepherds some people shouldn't have. I think Dobermans some people shouldn't have. There's just dogs that require more attention, and people who just think they can raise it like any other dog. You know, you want an easy dog to train, get a boxer, get a golden retriever, ones with better temperaments.
Boxers are so nice, but it just annoys me how weird they look. Like, stop with the smush face dogs. Like, just. And then I looked up. That's like not good for them either. They can't breathe.
The brachycephalic dogs, they're not good. They have breathing issues.
So, like, why would we do that? It really shows that industrial society and the human race and the horrors we have inflicted upon nature. We really need.
Well, I think it was the Asian culture that came up with like the pug, and that was kind of the first one that had the face. It looked like it got hit in the face with a frying pan. But yeah, that's
because I think they invented the pug. It was like he was like chilling with the Chinese emperor like 2,000 years ago. So back then, all right, but now we can look it up. But final thought on the pit bull thing. People are like, oh, the Chihuahua bites more. Even if that's true, I can kill the Chihuahua. The pit bull can kill me. So that's all it gets down to.
They all can kill you after the right move, the right bite. They all can kill you. You don't know what you're doing.
A Shih Tzu, a toy poodle. I think I can take them. Although I don't know.
Yeah, you get killed by a Yorkie. You're doing. I don't know what you're doing. That's just. Thanksgiving is tomorrow, guys. Go over some of our favorite Thanksgiving meals real quick. And I got a question for you guys. Is turkey overrated on Thanksgiving?
It's only overrated if you haven't had the right one.
Okay. I don't think it's overrated. I'm big on the turkey. You get some good gravy. I like it. Now, a lot of people don't like the cranberry sauce. I like the cranberry. I don't like the canned cranberry sauce. I like the liquefied, actual, true cranberry sauce.
I hope RFK bans that canned cranberry sauce because that looks like an abomination against nature.
Yeah.
But the turkey is not overrated.
It's never touched. It's never touched. I never see that touched at dinner. That gelatin shit. Never touched.
I feel like you could leave it outside and it would maintain its
Animals wouldn't even eat it. You could put it outside. Nobody would want it.
But my point is, I think you could leave it outside and it would maintain that can shape for like 1,000 years. Does it even biodegrade? It might be made out of plastic.
It just looks like Jello to me.
But anyway, turkey is not underrated. If it's dry, put gravy on it. You can't even lose. Like, even if someone fucks up the turkey, as long as the gravy tastes good and they put enough, like, there's enough bouillon bullshits out there to make it taste all right, no matter what.
Not only that, but like, if you've never, anybody who's never experienced a moist turkey, you've never had it fried. And I'm telling you right now,
fried turkey is excellent.
I'm telling you right now, if you start frying your turkey, it will change your outlook and experience on turkey. Now, mind you still got to season the sumbitch. You can't just throw them in the turkey fryer and just think you're just going to have a miracle. No,
white people,
you still got to prep it.
White people, listen up.
Now, this is what I do with my turkey. I followed my cousin's recipe. And so every year I go to the store, I get some Cajun seasoning, and I get some Cajun injectable butter, and I buy some white wine. All right? I inject the entire turkey, every part, with the white wine and the injectable butter. I season that turkey like a son of a gun. Like I'm telling you, there's not an ounce on that turkey that's not covered in Cajun seasoning. I let it sit in that seasoning for at least 24 hours. I fry that sumbitch up, and I'm telling y'all right now, I have changed people's lives and outlooks on turkey. It's a very simple thing to do. It's not that hard.
It sounds really good, but I must bring this up because every year there's always at least one news story of one idiot that tries to deep fry the turkey for the first time and they burn their house down.
Listen, dumbasses. Listen, it's not that hard to fry a turkey. Listen, for all you people out there that's doing a propane, here's what you do. All right. First off, don't fry the damn turkey frozen, you dumbasses. That's stupid. Hot oil and frozen and water doesn't mix. It's water on the turkey. It's frozen, stupid.
It's falling on deaf ears. There's always going to be some idiot that throws the frozen turkey unseasoned into the hot boiling oil.
That's first and foremost.
And to all the Delco listeners who just probably can't comprehend this, just go to Wawa like you guys always do and get the nice gobbler sandwich. Get 4 of them for the family, and just that's your Thanksgiving.
Gobbler's another thing RFK needs to make illegal. Like, who even buys that?
Secondly,
you'd be surprised. I think there's a lot of assholes who buy the gobbler sandwich from Wawa. To me, it looks like complete slop, but.
And secondly, if you are going to fry it with a propane propane heater, measure out your oil first with water. All right, measure out, put the turkey into the pot, empty, nothing in it. Fill it up with water. See where that line is, where the turkey is completely covered in the oil. Mark that line off. That's how much damn oil you put in. That way the sumbitch don't overflow.
So when do you mix the oil and the water together? I heard that's the secret ingredient to make it taste really good.
Never. And please, for the love of God, stop frying the damn turkey near the damn house. Unless you have an electric fryer like I do, do not fry the damn turkey in the house or near the damn house.
Or you could be like white trash people and just microwave it.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you
Throw it in the
sound so
microwave for 30 minutes.
You sound so
to
passionate
go.
about it. I need to try the fried turkey. Believe me, I'm not someone that would turn my nose at a fried turkey. I just never been somewhere that they made it. My other family members like smoke the turkey. I thought it tastes horrible, but whatever.
How do you fuck up a smoked turkey?
We're white, Tyler. We don't have
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
we
You're
don't
forgetting
have
this
that,
major
that
thing.
flavor that the African Americans just add to cooking. It's just we had
Wait
when
till
they go, what do you put on your turkey? Salt.
Oh, shit.
It's like, yeah. I saw people cook it in Coca-Cola before.
What the
For
hell?
flavor. Yeah, listen, this is what I've seen. So
Sick bastards.
I don't cook turkey, but if I did, I wouldn't know what to add. But I wouldn't do what you're saying people are doing and throwing it right in the fryer.
We always add at least salt, pepper, and garlic, and my mom, I'm sure, puts like sage and thyme and all the other stuff. But there are white people out there that are like just straight up like salt and pepper might be like.
Yeah,
We're missing out on the seasoning.
I know some people that just throw the some bitch up in there. And I'm just like, what the no. First off, turkey's bland naturally.
Yeah, you gotta jazz it up with some flavor.
You do.
And then it is so much better if it's a moist than dry. I mean, you can save it with the gravy, but like a good slice of turkey is a billion times better than a mediocre one.
So what's your guys' favorite like side dish when it comes to, you always have the turkey, but then what's your second?
I feel like it has to be stuffing. I like mashed potatoes probably equally, but stuffing is such a quintessential Thanksgiving thing that you're always having Thanksgiving. Mashed potatoes you have like year round, so I think it has to be stuffing.
I'm always going for the mac and cheese myself.
Mac and cheese is a good item. Mac and cheese. I go with the sweet potato. Sweet potato with the marshmallow.
Very
little
underrated.
cinnamon. It's a good item.
So since we already brought up the race card, I have this Thanksgiving idea that I've always pontificated about. So are white people pumpkin pie and black people sweet potato pie, and like was that just like how it happened, or is this me painting with a broad brush here?
Tyler, you're black.
All I got to say is on behalf of the black delegation. Matter of fact, let me put this PSA out there real quick. I'll say it. White people, look here. If you get invited
I'm looking.
to a black people dinner,
I'm not
black
cool
people
enough.
Thanksgiving dinner, okay? If you ever get the opportunity, first off, it's an experience of a lifetime. You will enjoy yourself. Take notes, especially on seasoning. But
Do not bring your kid on a leash either. They find that extremely amusing.
But please, for the love of God, whatever you do, don't bring pumpkin pie to the function. Do not bring pumpkin pie.
You guys don't like it? It's so good.
No, we don't.
Not a pumpkin pie guy?
No.
How about apple pie? I'm a big apple pie guy.
Okay, apple pie is fine.
All right, good.
So does the sweet potato pie taste like pumpkin pie? Because
No,
I've never
sweet
had
potato pie slaps.
I've never had sweet potato pie. Like, does it taste similar? Is it like?
I need you to take a trip to ShopRite and grab one of those sweet potato
We'll have
pies.
to try
that they
sweet
make.
potato pie is really good. My friend Amir, one of my best friends, black guy. So I got to do the sweet potato pie, and he always had it. It's good. His grandma used to make it. It was really good.
I just was always turned off by the fact that it's a potato. And then if I'm ever at a restaurant and they have sweet potato fries, like I just think they're too sweet and like it kind of ruins. Like fries are supposed to be salty and safe.
No,
So
you haven't had the right ones.
that's what I'm saying.
No,
I
it
gotta-
doesn't even. You don't. It's just a good dessert. It's a good item.
Yeah, but I mean, there's other good stuff like pecan pie and it's kind of like more underrated. Blueberry, all that stuff. But
I don't think I've had. I'm pretty simple with it. I don't mind pumpkin pie. It's not bad. Apple pie is my go-to. Hot apple pie with some vanilla ice cream. It's pretty good.
maybe I'm just being too white, but I think nothing beats the pumpkin pie with the whipped cream on top. That is just like the greatest combo of flavors of all time.
Just don't bring that shit to a black function. Just
What
just
happens
goes-
if you do?
It just goes to the trash.
You're not getting invited back
All right.
ever again. I can
It's
tell
the
you
one
that
and
right
only
now.
time. So, Tyre, we were going to talk about a little Sixer action. Clap your hands,
Unfortunately.
everybody.
So I wanted to, before you guys get out of here, like this has been pissing me off, and I wanted to get you guys' take on this entire Sixer situation.
Oh, we got Charles Barkley.
Because I think it's just
Kenny.
getting worse and worse as the days go on.
Kenny, this guy's
Practice? They talking about practice?
They talking about everything, period. When they say Joel Embiid is being late, like, and I had to do my research and look into this, they're not just talking about the meetings. Like, they're talking about arriving to the arena. They're talking about everything that has a schedule. Joel Embiid arrives late. And I'm sorry, that just doesn't set a very good precedent. And then the way he reacted to the report, don't get me wrong, I agree with Chuck. That should have never been leaked. The fact that they had a private team meeting, it should have never been leaked. The details of it never should have been leaked. But if that's your reaction, who leaked it? That's a serious problem. Like, if anything, you should have came out and said, especially considering you haven't hardly played this year, you probably should have came out and said, you know what? You know, as much as I didn't want that to come out, I got to own up to it. I got to be a better franchise player.
Yeah, he just has to talk to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts knows the exact kind of bullshit to tell the media. It's like, yeah, man, I just got to – do the Andy Reid. We got to do a better job. But, yeah, they just get mad at the leakers. Like, they probably only leaked it because they're fed up with your bullshit.
And I'm sorry. I'm at this – and I've been defending Embiid for as long as he's been on the team. I've defended this man. I've gone to bat for him. I have gotten so many talks about how I'm stupid for defending Embiid to this point. I can't do it no more, fellas. Like, I'm done. Yeah. Like, I'm at, and I'll say it right now. I want him traded.
You do.
I'll say it right now. I'm done.
Friendship ended with Embiid. Now Maxey is my greatest friend. But honestly,
you can't be the franchise player and be late to meetings and be late to everything. You just can't. The attitude, how you react to the media, it's starting to wear thin on me now. And I think I'm done.
Yeah, he does have this, like, chip on his shoulder superiority complex. If you had, like, 3 rings, go for it. Be an even bigger dick. But you haven't won shit, and, like, we constantly get bounced. And they made this big deal about the MVP. I'm like, oh, congratulations on your participation regular season trophy. Nothing matters less than the regular season NBA.
I think, and I'm typically the guy who's gonna, jump right on. Embiid's been through a lot over the past couple years. He hasn't played with the same team, back-to-back years twice because everything's changing year in and year out. I'm not, and I don't want to make excuses for the guy because you're right. He should be there on time. He's the leader. He just got paid. He should be setting the standard, setting the example for everybody that he's the star player. He's one of the best players in the NBA. Show up on time and be that leader. But it's mentally draining. They've been to the playoffs year in and year out, and I guess he's just figured we can coast through the playoffs, or maybe he just feels kind of slighted right now. That Maxey and McCain are starting to get a lot of the credit, and people are starting to turn on him. People are just tired of him.
You want the credit?
It's
you
frustrating.
Play.
I try and look at both sides, and I'd like to see it work out because when Embiid's gone, we're going to be like, holy shit, this guy is one of the greatest centers to ever play.
No doubt.
So I don't know if I want to trade the guy because if you can get it figured out, you got 2 really good guards now. Jarrett McCain has played outstanding, and you still have Tyrese Maxey, and I hope they can get it figured out. And he can get healthy, be ready for the playoffs. Because this team, if they can get it together and they could, get a cohesive unit together, it's like I think, they could put some, they could put it together and get to the championship. But
think we can trade him for Ben Simmons?
Yeah, okay.
He looked good. He looked good last week in Philly.
Yeah, he looked really good.
He looked like he didn't even know how to play basketball.
Yep.
He had a layup. He fired it off the backboard.
So you're saying he looked like how he is? Exactly?
So, Tyre, I'll ask you this. You're ready to trade Embiid.
Yep.
What do you want for Joel Embiid? That's the thing. It's like, what are you going to get? What are other teams willing to give? What's his value at right now?
See, here's the crazy part. I don't know what I want, nor do I really know what I can get because let's be honest here. He's already announced that he's not playing in back-to-back games, so that automatically decreases your value. You're injury-prone throughout the years. You don't really last to the playoffs. That kills your value. Your contract, after you've said all these things, that kills your value. So if you think you're going to get a huge haul for Joel Embiid, you're not. You'll get some good draft picks. You might even get a good player. You're not getting a huge haul for him. You're not. Not at this point.
I'm almost always on the side of players versus management in all these sports. But I have to say in the NBA, The players are absolute lunatics, and they need to be like crushed under like capitalist oligarchs like horrifically, so they get in line. Remember when they were going to cancel that playoff game to like protest?
Hold on. What the fuck does that mean? what did you just say?
The people that maximize and centralize wealth and an oligarchy, a few people run the show. Well, that's the thing. People aren't ready. People aren't ready for that conversation. They think, oh, our system's so good. Every system's an oligarchy. If you have a democracy or if you have Tsarist Russia, there's always a small group of insiders, movers, and shakers that get everything done. But anyway, the problem with the NBA is there's not like the NFL, there's like 1 billion players. So they always are like, get the scabs basically to cross the picket line. If you're a bubble roster player, you know, your vote's just as much as Peyton Manning. So enough of you guys are just going to take the 2% raise or whatever. But these NBA guys, they like have no loyalty to their team. They blow shit up all the time. They like live like little pampered prima donnas. They almost they wanted to cancel that playoff game a few years ago, and then they're like, well, you know, you're not going to get paid, right? Like on second thought, you know, racism isn't actually. So they're just like, they've had their moment, and we thought, okay, well, they believe in what they believe. But then LeBron exposed that. They're like, well, actually, I don't care if China does whatever. My shoes come from there, and I like their money. So all they're about is money anyway. So just, you know, hey, if you want a max contract, maybe you should play all the games, and you don't get the mental health loophole with Ben Simmons. Like these guys, like people shouldn't even watch the NBA. It's like sucks all year, and then the playoffs are kind of interesting, but it's the same guys, the same. Everyone wants to make a little super team. Like
it's crazy that you say people shouldn't watch the NBA because, as a matter of fact, their ratings are down.
They're really bad.
Like they are bad, and really one of the reasons is because of this load management in keeping these superstars in bubble and on ice, and it's frustrating fans at this point because let's be honest here, I'm not paying money if Embiid's not playing. I'm not going to a Sixers game unless I see Embiid, unless I see LeBron, unless I see Giannis. I'm not spending my hard-earned money unless it's a absolute guarantee I'm going to see a goddamn superstar.
Yeah.
You're killing your product, and it's stupid.
Like, what should they do? Make the season 20 games long? Like, I don't know, because the players are not going to put up with it. And I know there are legitimate injury concerns, and you don't want to, like, blow your load in the regular season. You can't play in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, the tickets and the eyeballs pay your crazy salaries anyway. If you lose that, you're going to be, you know, waiting tables.
And I was a players person before. Like, I truly was.
And there's still situations where I'm a players guy. But look at the NBA, and I'm going to let you finish.
Yeah.
But these guys with this load management, I'm not the biggest LeBron guy. LeBron plays a lot of fucking basketball, and he's played year in and year out. He plays a lot of fucking games.
Well, LeBron's different. LeBron's at the age where
he's still playing a lot more than Embiid is,
which is crazy to me.
Yeah, if anyone should be load managing, it should be this guy.
He's
He's the
so
only
many
one
more
not.
games than Joel Embiid has played. Think of all the playoff games that LeBron's played too. You know, if you just care and you have the money to take care of your body, it's I don't know. It's just I'm a college basketball guy before I'm an NBA guy.
I know this is like, it's kind of always been part of basketball, but it's really been shown to be worse in recent years. But I mean, this is why the NFL cannot be beat. If you put on any random Sunday game, the stakes, the emotion, the entertainment, it feels at least 1,000 times more exciting than your average. You just pick a random, throw a dart on the board NBA game in the middle of the season. They're just a big nothing. Like, you just check the highlights later, or the stats or whatever. It's like, why would anyone even tune in? The playoffs can be kind of interesting, but if it's the same team, same players, it's not. So they're wrecking their own product.
What were you gonna say?
The only thing I was gonna say was, you know, these young players, they complain. First off, they're not built the same way that the players were back then. Back then, first off, the rules were a whole lot more wilder. You did a whole lot more wild things. If you got hurt, you got hurt. Like, if you went up in the paint, you felt it.
Getting clothesline.
Exactly. So, like, and those players still played and tried to play at least 82 games.
They cared.
And these players are just so freaking soft, mentally and physically.
Because
How?
they're so grotesquely overpaid. That's what it comes down to. They're so overpaid. And that social media hasn't helped. Because you look even back on, like, when LeBron was with Miami, the NBA was still a good product, I think.
Yeah, it
Kobe
was still a good
still
product.
in the league. It was still it was a different vibe, and there was just a shift where everybody just became a prima donna, and it just...
Yeah, I would even if the talent was way worse, but they cared more. It was more. I would rather watch the Malice in the Palace every day than this like Golden State Warriors. Everyone chucks threes and the most boring kind
That's why I like Draymond. Draymond's
Say what you will
Draymond's
about
still
him.
old.
Draymond's just on the wrong. He's in the wrong era.
Yeah. He honestly
I just
is.
like a guy that's willing to kick you in the nuts as hard as possible.
Fucking right.
Or step on you.
Or punch the guy. Didn't he punch the guy for leaking? Speaking of the leaking thing with that, so we need Draymond on the team.
Oh yeah, when Draymond, I forgot that. I
Yeah.
forgot who he punched. Yeah.
Well, if Draymond got thrown out, what do you get suspended for a game in that one NBA Finals? The LeBron came back and beat them. Game 6, he was out. So, I mean, is what it is. I think they're all world. I think the NBA athletes are arguably the best athletes in the world. These guys can do everything. They got speed. They got everything in an athletic prowess that you need. LeBron's probably. I mean, LeBron in his prime is arguably the greatest athlete in the world.
And it's just because it's not just basketball or the players. It's just the NBA. Like the Olympics were so much more exciting than this shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because they weren't playing for money; they were playing for pride. It's a whole different.
Well, that's the thing. There's no pride anymore. There's no like loyalty to the team. Everyone's just a mercenary. So that's
Say
what
what
you
you
get.
want about soccer, but the World Cup is fucking incredible.
Yes.
I love the World Cup. I really do. Like I know soccer isn't popular here. I enjoy soccer, especially the World Cup. It's
I
awesome.
can't wait for the World Cup because like if it's gonna be there's gonna be games in Philly and in the area and it's gonna be awesome. And then like there's so many countries where it's like if you're from like Guatemala, like you are like a billion times more hype than like the average Eagles fan was watching the
Why don't we
win
pick
the
an
Super
actual
Bowl.
good like soccer country? We'll go Argentina.
But
Who
no,
just won.
this is my point. Even a shitty do nothing, like they're that crazy and die hard for it. Meanwhile, like Argentina, Brazil, the Europeans, like they're
Yeah.
crazy too. But and then like they can actually win. But I'm saying even like a nothing country, nothing. No offense, Guatemala. No offense to your soccer team. But countries that don't have a lot going for them and aren't famous on the world stage, like that's their moment to shine. Like if they upset, like if Guatemala upsets Argentina, it's like the like national holiday. Everyone's going crazy.
And it is that reason why, this is the last thing I'm going to say. That's the reason why I think either soccer or honestly hockey will eventually become the number 2 sport in the United States. Because the basketball, the NBA has just fallen off tremendously. It
Yeah.
truly has.
Do you think baseball's gotten better? I think baseball's coming back a little bit
Yeah,
too.
it's starting to
The
come
new
back
rules
too.
are a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean the game's faster. I'm a baseball guy. Baseball's like my number one. Then probably, I mean when the Flyers are good, I'm a big hockey guy. I love football too. Big college football guy. I think I like college football more than the NFL. But baseball's gotten better.
And even then, college football is starting to get a lot of politics in it that I don't
Yeah,
like.
col-
but that's a
college
different
football's
It's
story.
getting fun though. This 12-team playoffs gonna be fun.
Yeah, I agree.
They are trying to turn. They're trying their best to turn college football and to get all the negative attributes from the NBA, but the expanded playoff and all these like crazy teams. College football can be saved, and it's still good, even if it's not as good. I just wish they should have had a 16-team playoff 20 years ago. But that way, no one would have left all the divisions. You could be a Texas and Oklahoma, and everyone has a path to the playoff. Win all your games, you're gonna get in, and you can get your chance to prove it on the field. If you can beat Alabama, well, then you're the champion. Congrats. But not like a committee decides you're not good enough. Remember the UCF shit. But I'm excited for because like the very last week of the year, there's like 20 teams still in it for 12 spots. Everyone's playing. Everyone's trying their best, and like we need that. The NBA, no one cares.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I wanted to just touch on, I will say this. We were talking about it earlier. Philadelphia's got some good rookies in it right now. We got some good rookies. All the teams. Flyers, Meach Conflict's pretty damn good. Quinyon Mitchell, pretty damn good.
The Gene.
Jarrett McCain, pretty damn good. Yeah, DeJean too. I think Quinyon to me has been more impressive than DeJean. I think DeJean's good, but Quinyon's just locked down. Quinyon could be the best corner in the league in like 3 years.
I hope he wins. Is he a favorite for Defensive Rookie of the Year?
I believe he is a favorite. Let me check the statistics real quick, but I do believe like he's up
him
there.
and the guy from Arizona too. I forget the guy from Arizona's name, but I think they have a corner too. Tyre, what do you think of Aaron Rodgers potentially not wanting to come back?
All right, good. Get riddance. Because, like, look, last couple of years, you haven't looked like the Aaron Rodgers I grew up watching. Like, this is a shell of your former self.
Yeah.
Players got to learn how to walk away. That's the big thing for me. Learn to walk away. Like, you try to relive your glory in another place, and it's not working. You're not the same guy. You can't run away from defenders the same way you used to. That fastball can't zip on receivers like it used to. Your accuracy has fallen.
Shouts out Megatron for knowing when to walk away.
Like, just
Really?
walk away. Well, Megatron
He walked away a little early.
Megatron walked away because of the team that he had to experience,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Same with Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
It's a shame. wasted careers.
Or Lions, they've two goats, like the goat running back and the goat wide receiver quit because the Lions are so
You
shit.
literally can make the argument about either guy that they are the goat of their position.
And they quit like before they were done because the Lions were such a shit show. So
It's a shame they're not, now.
Yeah,
Because they actually have a good head coach now.
if they could thaw Prime Megatron and put him on this Lions team now, like, could you imagine?
Yeah, we probably wouldn't beat them in the playoffs.
That guy, Megatron and his prime, like, just triple coverage is nothing. He makes AJ Brown look like a pussy receiver. He's that good.
All right, real quick, guys, before this will be our last thing. Top 5 receivers ever.
Sheesh.
Prime. In their prime. You could take anybody in their prime. You got to take 5 guys in their prime.
This is in no particular order, but of course you got to put Jerry Rice up there.
Okay.
That's automatic. And this is only because this is our era, even though he didn't win anything. But probably got to put Randy Moss on there too.
Okay.
I mean, Moss was pretty much invented because of Randy Moss.
Okay. Yeah, you got Most. Put T.O.?
Yeah, I was just about to say you got to put T.O. T.O.'s definitely up there.
You put Megatron?
Yes, even though his career was short.
And this is where it gets interesting because most people have those 4 guys.
Yeah.
Who's the 5th guy you put? In his prime. We're going absolute just in their prime. You don't have to go career.
Man, that's a hard
Ken's looking up receivers.
Because I'm trying to get idea. I
Some people could say Larry Fitzgerald.
think Antonio Brown. If we're just
I go
looking
Antonio
prime,
Brown. I'm always the Antonio Brown guy. Prime for prime. Antonio Brown in his prime was lethal.
And I have to say, Jerry Rice is definitely the GOAT wide receiver, but I would say if we're just comparing prime, I think it has to be Megatron as the GOAT.
Yeah.
Just like I
don't
think
know, man.
Gronkowski
Brady-
prime, he's the best tight end, but he won't have the best tight end career.
I think Gronk's the best ever. To me, it's Gronk. Gronk's my guy, then Antonio Gates. They're my 2 top guys. But yeah, I think that's all we got. Slightly relatable. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. If you guys are listening to this, be sure to subscribe, check it out. And Tahir, thank you. Ken.
Oh, and then just
Thank you.
one closing remark to the one Instagram commenter that said, "This isn't relatable at all." Well, I'm sorry if we try. Anyway.
Have a good night.